peaceful greetings. It's good with the folk. How we doing out there in the world? I'm here to talk with y'all today. I'm here to let y'all speak y'all piece. What should we talk about today? Let me know. What should we talk about today? What information would you yourself like to share with other individuals here on this platform? Or do I have to pick the topic? I talk about status correction. I talk about secured party creditorship. I talk about nationality. I talk about civics. I talk about religion. I talk about spirituality, consciousness. What would we like to speak about today? Put something in the room. How many of y'all would like to hear about civics? I am religious, spiritual, and conscious. These are 3 steps that I have ascended. I could talk about any one of those 3. Being spiritual just means controlling your breath or knowing what to say, perfecting your claim. That's what spirituality is to me. Yeah, meditation is going within the self and observing the self from within. And peace and love, mi amor. Right back to you all. What we gonna talk about? Somebody kick it off. Anybody in here interested in nationality? I speak at length about nationality, about being a citizen, understanding citizenship. In this room, we speak about 2 of the 3 things that most people are told not to. We speak about politics and religion, but we don't speak about sports. And by all means, please share the live. Oh, I can't even bring you up. What are your questions about the Moorish community? We can definitely talk about all things Moorish. I know a lot of these Moorish Americans have misinterpreted concepts I would love to speak about. Appreciate that share. Well, I don't know anything about AMPAG. I don't know what that even stands for. And unless it's the Sultan of Morocco, I don't know why the nigga calling himself Sultan. And I will tell you that Taj Tariq Bey is one of my primary teachers, but I don't accept all of his works either. I put him down too, respectfully though. But I also go at the Moors in the temple, Moors outside of the temple, and then when I go at them, I go at them according to Noble Drew Ali's literature and according to the national organizations like the UNIA. Drew Ali told us that the brother Garvey was the harbinger, however you say it, meaning that whatever his organization was doing, which was teaching us how to be businessmen and women, that's what the Moorish Science Temple of America was supposed to be doing. But instead, they're out here churching the shit out of us. Yes, I offer it for a price. This here is the book I call it the Book of Bills, And then I gotta put that back together. And then this here, which is all of Noble Drew Ali's information. See, Drew Ali, he done told you that we're supposed to be out here doing business in the public, right? And that our goods and services should be equal in quality to the goods and services of other like businesses. I don't see none of that shit out here. I don't see none of that. I don't hear anyone inside the temples talking about that. And I damn sure don't hear anybody outside. So if you go to my link in my bio, the link in my bio is called anewfame.net. And you look up the tab that says economic security. You get both of those books plus as a consolation. We also send you this. Right? Because that's necessary to understand. We're talking about administrative procedures. We're talking about trust law. We're talking about common law and being a merchant. And again, Noble Drew Ali makes mention of a lot of that stuff in his literature. So, this is all study information. There's like 5 or 6 people who might have gotten this information, and then once they got it, they didn't get back to me. So I don't know what the product. I guess they thought that I gave out some step by step. Like, no, that's a study guide, I know what's in our study guide, and I need everyone else to see what's in our study guide so then we can truly study. I'm only here to show you the way. I'm not here to open the door for you. I can't even open it. I can't knock at the door for you. That's up to you to knock. Would anybody in the audience like to come up and speak? Let me know. Here, let me do it like I guess most of y'all be used to. There we go. What we gonna talk about? Anybody got any information to add? Anything about whatever? For how do I purchase the booklets? Islam Brother Hudson Bay. So there's a website on my profile called anewfane.net. And if you go to that website and then you go to the menus tab, you know what? Let me take that background down. Let me show you. And then you go to this right here, economic security. If you go to the tab in my profile and then you go to if you go to my profile and you go to the website, anewfane.com, and you go to the economic security tab, I'll be able to get you this and this, and then this is going to be, this is going to be tailored to your state constitution. Just meaning that mine has Pennsylvania in here, along with all the other information. And yours will have the state in which you live, that constitution, along with all the other information in it. And then, I wasn't sure if you caught on or if you were ready to see it. We also present this right here. You get this as part of the actual purchase. And then, where is that at? 1 second. There it is. Show you all what I just printed out yesterday that I think might be a benefit. Oh, I can't even see what's going on. All right, cool. Holy instructions from the Prophet. Absolutely. All of that is in there. As well, if you have missed any of the, I guess you would say lectures, lessons, classes, courses, whatever, that I presented on this platform, the YouTube channel was also in the profile, right? So I just printed this out. Right? And usually anything that I print out for myself, I offer. Do you have a couple questions about? Okay, yeah. Do I attend the Moorish Science? No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't attend the Moorish Science Temple of America because if you read chapter 10, you'll see that, I don't need the priest because I already have the information. Well, for what purpose is the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? For the uplifting of fallen humanity and to teach those things necessary to make our members, the men and women of our group, better citizens. And I've already went out and studied all of that because I've been to a couple of Moorish Science Temples of America, and none of them are teaching economic security. None of them are acting as the union that it's supposed to be. None of them are offering jobs or teaching people how to get better housing. That's why I don't go, because it's out of order. Because according to this information, Noble Drew Ali told us what to do, and I don't fucking see it, so you're not going to see me there. Not to be disrespectful to yourself either, and I'm not disrespecting the order at all. I just see that the order is not in order, and so ain't no point in me being there. So it is left up to us to keep his order. You in California, you Temple 43? You Temple 43? But why I'm asking you that, let me see here. I do. Me and more, let me see. Our name, you just have a free national name to do your other business with. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, bro. And this is in all due respect. I don't see any of the Moorish Science Temples of America being in order. And until yourself coming in and, sitting them old Moors to the back, until you've done that, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. Because those who are in the order right now, they're teaching. And again, I don't know what they're teaching, but what they're supposed to be teaching, they're not teaching. I don't see any Moorish national housing complexes, hospitals, laundromats. I don't see any of that. But I see that in Masonic fraternal orders. I see that in Shriner fraternal orders. I see that in all other fraternal orders. I don't see the Moorish Science Temple of America doing anything but reading to me the Circle 7 and telling me what I need to be doing as if we in motherfucking church, bro. That's all I get from it. And out from Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation, so I'm already out here. Well, brother, are they what do they teach in your organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America? If I were to move to California, and I would become a faithful member of the organization, what insurance policies are they presenting for me? What business opportunities are they presenting for me? What benefits? What housing? What is that? Is that there? Are these things off? Are these things being offered out of Temple number 80? Because if they're not, again, I'm not showing up. I'm just going to do what I need to do here and establish what needs to be established. To say that Drew Ali established his in this time. Yes, what? I'm sorry. So there's a job I could go out there. So you're telling me that I could come and get the insurance policy, right? And let me ask you this. For Temple number 80, are they teaching their members how to be national citizens? I got 5 stars. By the way. Are they teaching Moorish Americans? Yes. We are working towards the better homes of our community. Coolio. I'm glad to hear that. Are your members walking around with passports with fezzes on? With their titles, L's and B's on there? Yeah, I teach exactly what I'm talking about. What I teach is what Drew Ali taught me. And Drew Ali taught me. Marcus Garvey taught me. Dus Muhammad Ali taught me. And Abdul Hamid Suleiman. These are just some of the people who taught me. Like, let me ask you this: do you follow Timothy Drew Ali from North Carolina, or do you follow Thomas Drew Ali from Norfolk, Virginia? That's an important question. Absolutely, I'm not saying you're not, but I'm asking questions. You know, do you follow Timothy Drew, who I don't know who the fuck that is, right? Or do you follow Thomas Drew from Norfolk, Virginia, from 411 Princess Anne Avenue, Norfolk, Virginia? Because that's who I know of both, but you're not answering the question. I'm having a hard time. Just asking you a simple question. You were introduced. Peaceful greeting to the one who just came in and who's down with the team. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Open the mic, please. The mic's open. Yeah, come on up. Shit. Mother Divine, Islam. That's always a beautiful title. And my sister, my big sister in the room, NGL, Islam sister.
Okay, I never went live, but
Hold on, let me turn this up because I can't hear you, beloved. All right, I can hear you.
Islam, beloved brother, how are you?
I'm successful in yourself.
Islam, praise Allah. I rise giving perfect praise to all the Creator, Allah, the Father of the universe. I give high honors to Noble Drew Ali, Islam. Noble still always will, forever and until Islam. Definitely, I am in agreement with you. And we've here in Unity Temple number 80. We're in Los Angeles, California. We've been in this location, keeping these stores open for 11 years as of February 1st of this year. So, and I know you were saying brother because
Yeah, and I apologize because now that I know, and I hadn't read, but now I know that this is my mother and my sister.
absolutely no worries, no worries. You know, we still have that bonds of affection. We're under that divine covenant because we're coming from the same teaching, the Holy Quran, etc. Some of your questions, and I concur with you because a lot of temples are not teaching economic security, and probably don't know how. I do have my own business. I do have a brick and mortar. So, and I'm not saying that I know everything, but I'm saying that all of us together, those who know, are the ones who should come and teach the others who have not been given that wisdom. You know, so they don't know, they don't have the understanding, they don't have the gift, and that gift was divinely given to you, and you have that skill set. Then we need all of us who think our conditions can be
Absolutely.
you know. And so again, I concur with you. And I've been in the temple. I started, let me see, the prophet found me because I thought I found him, but according to his words, he found me in a state, right, in that Negro, black and colored state. But definitely we actually are
We
here.
found you in this Negro, black, and colored state.
Right. Absolutely. I'm a from Memphis, Tennessee, but
There
I've been
you
in
go. See your
California.
higher self. Yes.
Yes, I have the passport I have all of those things. I have the seals. I'm in my turban with my button. I have my sister Cynthia Smith L. I have my
Me
5-star passport,
too.
5-star passport card.
Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice.
Islam. Praise Allah. So, and again, I'm open to continue to be a receptor to so that we can actually uplift ourselves, Islam, because it is the more science
And all of humanity.
and all of humanity. But I'm not going to give up on my brothers and sisters because they haven't come into knowledge.
Teach us that all of humanity are one family.
Yeah, we're one family, right?
There's no division in reality.
Right. And so, I just want to keep it clean and say that I invite you to come here. You don't have to come to me. I'll come to you, because I'm going to get your literature. I'm going to get your books because I know
you should have the literature that I present.
I'm sure that I do. I'm sure that I'm sure that I do because I know that you said that I think one of the documents that you held up because I was just coming in to your live.
This right here.
How do I open up my camera? Because I see the beloved sister energy, Divine L is on. Oh, okay.
Somebody is commenting like crazy on one of my posts. I'll see you later, though. This is most important.
Islam, I had muted my mic so y'all can build.
This is like some of the differences, though, that I show. This is what you get inside of this info. Oh, I'm sorry, part. We get our ecclesiastical authority or our jurisdiction to do business in this one here because I don't see it in a lot of other people's stuff. But just to show you, just to express to you, this has.
Hold on, brother. I think she's trying to figure out how to open her camera. Is that the case, sister?
Yes. Gratitude.
Okay, what you do is click on your box. Then you're going to see it come to a dark page, and then it's going to see a camera and a mic. Hit your camera. It's going to unblock it. Then you hit the word save, and then you should be, then you should be able to see yourself, and we should be able to witness you as well. I yield.
Gratitude. It's not. It says live access needed to wait.
Okay, you may not have reached that status yet. Depends on how many followers you got. So you may not have that ability at this point in time.
Oh, Islam. Yeah, I'm not on the tube a lot.
Okay.
So, I don't look for followers or anything like that. But when I do browse and I come to something that's really interesting to myself, I will give attention to it and then I'll bring it back to us because it's beneficial. So, but maybe that's something I need to learn.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, it's just a matter of time and building up like you said, your followers. More or less your engagement because of the fact that I was able to go live at 324. Brother, Professor Davis, did you go live with smaller or you have been on this thing for longer than I have been though?
So when I got on here, you needed a certain amount of followers.
Yeah. 500 to 1,000.
Real quick for Eric Hudson Bay. If you go to my profile, okay, and you click on anewfame.net, because the way that you spelled it in the room, that's not what I put. But I also put it up here for you. If you click on that, and then you go to the economic security tab, you will find what you're looking for.
Islam. So that's all it is, sister. So once you got the numbers, then you'll be able to show yourself. It's no biggie.
It's gratitude. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I know that we're coming into building and building with each other so we can come into the state of perfected man, right? And so as we continue to follow the divine instructions from chapter 26, holy instructions on unity, Islam, no man lives unto himself, right? But
isn't that chapter 3, beloved?
chapter 26, the holy instructions of unity, the gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah, and He appointed
Everyone his measure, which is
measure which seemeth good unto Himself. Has He endowed thee with wisdom?
Islam. You're
Right.
absolutely right.
And so that is the part of what we have to do in order to get ourselves together as North American Muslims, the Asiatic nation, under the Holy
Muslims,
Covenant.
North American Muslims. Muslim is not the word.
Well, according to the Holy Quran or the Moore Science Temple of America, it says Muslim. My
It doesn't
one
say
says
Muslim. It says Muslim, and people are they're mispronouncing it Muslim. It's not Muslim. It's Muslim. It's Moslem. Just like Mosley is Mosley.
say
Muslim
that
is
again.
Moslem.
Islam. Could you say that again, beloved?
Yes. Just like the last name Mosley
Yes,
is Mosley.
correct.
If you drop the Y and put the M, it becomes Muslim. As well as someone who speaks Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
The word Muslim means one who is detested, disrespected, despicable. In the Arabic language, it is important to say a word correctly, because if you say a letter or if you make a pronunciation that is not the pronunciation necessary, you change the whole meaning of the word.
Okay.
When the people are saying Muslim,
mm-hmm.
it's because of an accent, if you will.
Okay, I agree with that because I'm from Tennessee, and a lot of times I pronounce some words it's with a flat tongue, and I have a dialect or what ones would classify.
As long as the S sounds like an S and not a Z, you know what? It could be Muslim. I've heard people say Muslim, even though that's not the word. But as long as it's not Maz.
Oh, like the Z sound.
Yes, just like
Muslim.
I was explaining to some other brothers and sisters about the word sheriff. And in English, we say sheriff. But in Arabic, it is sharif.
Correct.
So it is the same word, and it should have a sound similar to the Arabic word. Just like we have sheikh and sheikh. But I hear people say sheikh, and it's not sheikh, but I'm not going to argue with anybody.
Right. The phonics and the accents put in different places of the word itself that brings about a different sound.
Yes.
Yes.
If I say the word Malik, I'm saying owner. If I say the word Malik, stressing the A, I'm saying king. If I say Malaik, I just said angel. If I say Malik al-Mulk, I've said king of kings. And so that MLK is still there. But if you don't say the vowels, when you change the vowel, you change the expression of it. And so again, if we're saying Muslim instead of Muslim, right? Because I ain't never heard anyone say, "What up, Ma? What up, Ma? Islam, Ma?" What they say, Islam, Mo?
Yeah.
Muslim. But I yield.
Islam. So that's a long sound. Oh, in English, because I don't speak Arabic, but I do. Understand where you're coming from. I was just,
Eric, you got to mute your mic, Eric.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. How do I do that?
I got you, beloved.
Thank you.
But to answer his question, you would hit on your box. It will go to a new screen, and you'll see a camera and a mic. You'll tap your mic, and it'll flash it. That'll be a mute situation. So, Eric, when it's time for you to speak, you have to unmute yourself. That's why I'm telling him how to do it, because you're unable to unmute us once we're muted.
Okay. You hear me now?
Yeah. You got it.
Okay. I got it. So let me mute. Yep,
Yes,
thanks.
Islam.
Please continue, sister.
And
Yes,
tap the screen, y'all. Get y'all daily hearts. That's another thing, sister. When you do that, I got to do this so she can start getting her engagement points up. That's another way that she's going to be able to get her face out there because you got to engage. So you got to get your daily heart meet. So every time you engage here and wherever live you go into, sister, it gives you engagement points because understand that this is a video game. TikTok is a video game of sorts. So therefore, you have to get points in order to be able to do or unlock certain levels, like opening your camera and things like that. So your daily heart me is that orange heart right across from his icon that says Professor Day, right there. When
okay.
you do that, everything you do now is going to be picked up by the algorithm, so it sees that you're an engager. And that's how that works. Eric, if you heard what I just said, same thing for yourself, brother, if you didn't know that. And I'm just telling y'all that.
Are you you're speaking of the heart?
Yeah, the orange heart is right above his head, or right beside, across from his face. Up there at the top, it says Professor Davis.
Yes.
You hit that orange heart. You hit that. That's going to give you. Now that only costs 1 penny. Okay. Now everything you do now going forward is picked up by the algorithm as activity. It's showing that you're active on the app, that you're an engager, and when you type something in the chat, you get 30 points for that. When you tap on the screen, every 10 taps give you 1 point. When you got that daily heart me, that's 45. So now I'm getting ready. When you hold the screen down, you can either hit the arrow and it can share out to one person. Watch your screen. You'll see a blue cat go up. That's me sharing it out. That's 50 engagement point. Now I'm going to do that a total of 14 more times while I'm here because that's giving me engagement points. And important, the engagement points is going to give you the ability to move up higher in the game. Basically, that's all. I yield. Any questions, I'll answer.
Crash. This is for my YouTube channel. You already know. All right, I'm back. I just had to let some of the brothers and sisters out there know my position when it comes to certain organizations of the Moorish Science Temple of America. A lot of these people are out of line.
And I agree.
So you had asked me earlier if I was a part of any temple, and I would like you to know that you are looking at it.
I understand it to that caliber, but you know, in essence, yeah, we're all of the temple, and we better get our household together, as you stated, economic security, you know, making ourselves better. But no man lives unto himself again, right?
Oh, see, I don't live unto myself either. That sister over there in the corner.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying, we have a circle out here.
Right.
And you did go to a temple, brother. The Lancaster, you did attempt it.
Yeah,
but once again,
but we already know that
on this podcast, they were not in order. They were not, like you said, they were not in order. I stayed as long as I could. But he did attempt to, you know, and as we have over this time. So Allah has led him to, you know, unearth due to his due diligence, and he's been able to, you know, unearth information, and that is chapter 26 worthy. That's all I can tell you. You know.
Like
so that's why I came in the room. I was on the outside in the hallway looking in like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Making sure ain't no dog poo.
Right.
That's between he and I. You know what I'm saying? And also to make sure don't nobody come in who are affiliated with temples and got their temple mind on, but meanwhile they're not in alignment, because if you don't have a press and you don't have a school, please don't tell me what the prophet brought.
Right. And if you're running around here with that little business card, nationality card, thinking that you saved, get out my face.
Right. Well, that's not the salvation. That's an instrument that's been
utilized
and been misused.
That was Jirali showing us. He was preparing us to be walking around with nationality cards.
Greetings, Mel.
That look like this.
Islam. I have that as well.
Told you it was going to change in your pocket.
Right,
That's
right,
in your
right.
wallet.
Islam. You know what? I give you high honors for your fortification in knowing. And I always say Allah places us where we can solve our problems best.
I am Allah.
It's been a fight that cannot be told in words. Trust me, because I've been in the temple since 2007. I just sat there because, first of all, coming in, I'm talking about as far as the incorporate the more science temple according to the end time and the fulfillings of prophecy. The more
Yeah, ever
science
since
temple of America.
1929, though,
Hmm.
all of the more science temples of America have been out of order. When they ran down on Emilio and took all his information, and then he passed on, it was about 1934. Everyone was out of order.
I concur, but does that mean we walked into a dirty house? So like a lot of times, walk into the house. I said, time to get a broom, a mop, or
Well, see, so
get
I'm
some water.
associated. I'm associated with the Grand Major Temple.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 3143 or 3140
3140
Indiana Avenue.
Avenue. Yeah.
And I'm associated and affiliated with it on the record.
Right.
Because when I filled out my DS-11 form, I also presented an affidavit because I realized that that's what my prophet was telling me to do.
That's what he did.
And just about everything.
Footprints clearly cut.
Yeah, right.
For his life.
Right. So my affiliation is with that original temple that no one can create a dissolution.
Right.
And so as far as I'm concerned, that's the only temple I'm aligned with.
Islamism.
To me,
mm-hmm.
I've become the presiding officer of this temple. I'm the prophet and angel of this temple.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Ali is not my only prophet. He's my example. And when you follow an example, the intention is to become the example.
Exactly.
Not to keep following. And so I've perfected myself. And I know my selves.
Right.
And their level. And I can part on a square. All that good stuff. So I know that I am justice.
Well, praise Allah. No, praise Allah for that, because the peace of a society depends upon justice, and justice, if any other of the violations, love, truth, peace, freedom, and love, truth, peace, and freedom, justice must take its course. And we are that justice that we bring.
Yeah, Drew Ali was teaching us how to do accounting. Exactly. This is all accounting.
It is accounting.
That is the foundation that everyone's ripped out.
That's right. It says it even in chapter 1. The fall and the creation of man. We're coming back from the fallen stage of humanity.
Right. We're coming back from that what I call principal debtorship.
Absolutely.
We have risen to that principal creditorship.
Exactly.
And because Islam means equity.
Islam.
Because equity's in the hard when you look at that balance sheet. Right. Then we must do equity to receive it. So, my debtor or my lower self and my creditor or my higher self, they act as one. Whenever I owe somebody, I'm in that position, I act accordingly. And whenever I'm the creditor in that position, I'm patient and I act accordingly. And that is the unity of man. I yield.
All right, brother. Well, you know me. I was just making sure that everything stay on the level.
I appreciate you coming in, Big Sis 100. You know it.
Yeah, I was actually creating content, and I just happened to be scrolling through, and I'm like, oh, hold on.
I be enjoying your content on IG and all of that. Keep doing what you're doing, love. I love it. I love it. What did you say? Be yourself, and then if anyone else want to follow, so be it.
No, 65. That's it. All right, y'all. Peace and love.
It's
all right. Peace and love. Gratitude, sister. Gratitude,
Love to
Mr.
Allah.
Energy Divine L. I appreciate you. Gratitude, brother. I'm gonna capture this because I'm outside of my dwelling, of my abode. If I use that creditorship terminology correctly, and I'll join you back as soon as I can if you'll be on for a while in a few minutes.
Inshallah. And you can
Inshallah.
catch all the recap. If you go to my profile, there should be two. It should say anewfame.net plus one more. The plus one more is the YouTube channel. I upload all of these to the YouTube channel for people to watch in case they missed. So
Islam. May Allah continue to be pleased with your servant. Servant is worthy of his higher and high honors to you, beloved.
likewise to you, Reflection.
Gratitude.
Islam.
Islam.
Brother Eric, by all means, please step up. Can I unmute the brother? Yeah. Brother Eric. Brother Eric.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now, beloved.
Yeah, man, I ain't really phone savvy, but I'm still trying to. What I did is I open my computer up because I'm trying to find,
You
trying
got
to
a
get the
pencil and a
books. Trying
piece
to
of
get the
paper?
books, man. Huh?
You got a pencil and a piece of paper?
Give me a sec.
All right.
Got a pen. Okay, go ahead.
ANU.
ANU. Well, I got that. ANU. Go ahead. ANU.
FEIN.
EIN.
FEIN.
FEIN.
.net.
So you say ANUEIN.
No.
FEIN.
No.
Go ahead. Say it again.
Just like on the board. ANU. All right. So listen. A for American.
Right.
N for national.
Mm-hmm.
U for university.
Go ahead.
F for
Frank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank. EIN.
EIN.net.
Right.
Now, when I put that in, let me put that in. Yeah. Y'all, pardon the body for my wife, man. She kind of loud.
It's all good, beloved. We don't judge it.
Yeah. Okay, let me get this off. Boom. Come on, get
Give
out
it
of
two
here.
apples. You know what I mean?
That's right, and treat her twice as nice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now let me put this in. AN, capital A, ANU, FEIN .net. And then push enter. Now what comes? Let me see what comes up now. Okay, now what comes? Okay, now I see it. Now it say American National University of Economic Industries Network. Is that what that is?
That's what the letters mean. Absolutely.
Okay, now how do I order? What do I click on to use my credit card to order the books?
Economic security. Go to that tab.
Economic security. Boom. Oh, okay. So, because you got a whole list, and when you click on one, it brings up what I want. Okay.
Yeah. And then you're going to scroll down, and you want to make sure that it's the economic security book and not the nationality rite of passage. Because I offer a service and I offer a product.
Okay, let me scroll down. When I get to scrolling, the first thing I hit is it's a Morris American Economic Security Manual. Is that what I'm looking for?
That's what you're looking for.
Okay.
And so what you're going to get, like I said, you're going to get this here.
Right.
This is all of the literature of Drew Ali's movement, that I could find. Right. And a lot of it, it's not openly expressed in the movement.
Oh, so it should
be. It is supposed to be.
Okay.
And so when you read this information, you'll start to see what Drew Ali really brought.
Okay, so this gonna be different from the Quran circle. I mean, the Circle Seven,
No, that
the
the Circle 7 is in here too.
one-on-one. So everyone
The
is
101s are in here too.
the Moorish literature and so forth.
The Moorish literature is in here too. So what you get in this one? What you get in this one is this is how I put it. This is the Moorish literature, but
Okay.
because I'm presenting it in this way to update it, I'm letting people know that it's the Moorish Guide newspaper.
Okay, because I
Right,
got
so
I
you
got
get those
all my
48,
jewels.
and I actually have more, but I haven't put them there. You get those 48 newspaper articles expressing and explaining exactly what it is that Drew Ali was presenting in the movement and
Okay.
things that were said about the movement and the prophet from other sources.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
you get the oral prophecies and statements. There's about 256 of them.
Right. Well, I have a copy of the oral statements. You know the literature you normally receive when you go into the temple. I have all
I've
that.
never been in one of them temples, bro. They don't want me in there.
Okay. Well, I have the.
I'm Jesus come to knock tables over. You feel me?
Right.
I come
the
in seeing and knowing, and so once I start speaking, there's a problem.
Okay.
You know, because they see that. Like when I tell them I've never been to a Moorish Science Temple of America, and I keep trying to get in one,
Right.
there's a problem because I'm asking, like I'd asked the sister who was on earlier, you know, what is the Moorish Science Temple of America offering me? You know, this is supposed to be a union.
Right.
Most members don't know that it's a union. So I'm asking, like, can I put certain property in the temple's trust? They don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right. Well, that's the thing, more. It's like I've been in more for years, and it's one of them things where the movement is so screwed up from when the split, when the incorporation started and the fight, and then you throw something in the trust of the movement, then everybody got access to it. You know what I mean? It's like
and then the issue is that all of the Grand Sheik, I don't give a fuck whether they're part of the Inc. or not. Right? They're all following that old Moorish rhetoric.
Okay.
And it's noticeable because what has changed about our conditions in the last 100 years?
Okay.
Not a motherfucking thing, brother.
Right.
We don't have any hospitals. We don't have anything in 100 years. During the time of Drew Ali, we had big business.
Right. We have me and my brother, we have a paper, one of his papers from when he had the paper back there. And one of the things that you was talking about is where Drew Ali said he want us to cater to service, open businesses, and be the best you can be. And so I was telling my brother back then, everywhere in Chicago, we owned everything. All the businesses were ours. But now ain't nothing exists. All the businesses been sold off, and
So I'm out here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right?
Okay.
And I know that Tyrone Crumbie Bey was the Grand Sheik of Temple Number 5, established by the Prophet out here. I believe this temple was established in like 1920.
Okay.
And I know for a fact that we had bookstores out here.
Mm-hmm.
And T. Crumbie Bey, he was an infiltrator, unfortunately.
Okay.
I have pictures of the temple. The police bombed the temple, brother.
Okay.
And I actually, once I got, because I'm an avid researcher. All right. I've listened to so many people tell me about Drew, and there were so many inconsistencies that I had to go find out for my motherfuckers.
Okay.
And what I came to find out when I went out to this area of Pittsburgh, so I'm like, damn, there's history here. And when I tell you there is no sign of Moorish anything, knowing that the Moorish Science Temple of America as an Islamic organization was the first organization in Islam here in Pittsburgh, but you got the African American mosques trying to play that up. And it's like, no, I know right here was the temple. Right down the street, we had our bookstore. There was a couple of other things.
Okay.
And I'm like, we have been erased. Like I can't buy Moorish anywhere. That bothers me.
Now, one of the things that me and my brother spoke on is that a lot of things that's going on today is like a reflection of what the prophet was talking about. He said when the wheels of industry get kicked back up, it's going to be in our favor. And so me and my brother we really working on trying to get a temple open and trying to get brothers involved and start holding civics classes.
What you're going to need to do, if you haven't already, in order to do that, and this is what I'm trying to do, just can't find enough Moorish Americans in my area to get with the program, right? You need to get on this level.
Okay, you mean with the passport?
Yeah, because that's your nationality card.
Right. Well, one of the things that attracted me to you, brother, is I was watching you yesterday, and I took a couple of screenshots when you were writing on the screen everything that was needed. And I told my brother about you. I just tried to send you to him, and I don't really know if he if when I shared you to him, if he got it, because my wife is on her phone and I'm on mine, and I ain't real phone savvy with it. But otherwise, that's the move I want to do. I want to get my passport and follow the steps that you said. But I'm just really trying to engage, man, get my stuff together, my status right, man. Also, one of the things I noticed with the debtor and the secured party piece is when you was explaining that. Because I was telling my brother, it's kind of impossible to not work in a debtor capacity in this country.
Right. This is why Charlie tells us that death or the black status, it's not an enemy, it's a friend.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? Come here, baby. Oh, I was too loud, baby.
Islam.
So
is that for me? Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with being a servant. As a matter of fact, we have a whole chapter with master and servant.
Okay.
And he's explaining to us that when you're a servant, meaning when you are an employee, do what is right by your employer. And when you are the employer, do right by your employee. So the debtor is always the one who is working for.
Okay.
So he's showing us both of these capacities. You know, there's nothing wrong. The economic slavery that we're suffering from is that we're only ever always acting in a debtor capacity.
Okay.
We're not even owners of our own businesses. Someone else who's not a part of the organization, or someone whose faith is not the same as yours, always has a higher investment in your business than yourself. And so Drew Ali, as well as Garvey, was teaching us we have to have our own businesses. We ain't out here knocking nobody's business. But I should be able to go to a laundromat, and there may be an Italian laundromat across the street, and that Italian laundromat has been organized by the Italian Brotherhood, whatever organization, right?
Right.
And then there should be a Moorish one across the street. And now if I know that my organization put that out there,
right,
I want to pour into it. That's what we're being taught, but we're out here letting others Islam. We're out here letting other individuals. We're working for those who are not a part of our own organization.
Okay.
If you have a business, I would run to you like, bro, I need to fill out an application. You know, my race is white. You know,
right.
I'm using my passport ID. I ain't using none of the social security, nothing. which means that I'm not going to pay federal taxes, but all the taxes paid into the state goes to your organization, so it goes back into our economy.
Okay.
See how that work?
Okay.
You know, that's what we're supposed to. That's what we should be out here doing. But because our people are still discombobulated.
Right, and because I was kind of confused, right? Yesterday when you was talking about being a statesman on that level, right? But then I was kind of confused because all over the years I've heard brothers running from the state,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Saying that,
yeah. I used to run from it too.
Right, but hold on, not equating us as being federal individuals, because we got federal codes where they recognize.
I deal with federalism. Federalism has a limited reach. I do not disassociate with the national government. See, the national government is the federal government.
Right.
Drew Ali, he told us, he said, I'm going to lead some of you Moors right up to the motherfucking door. Y'all niggas going to turn on your heels, run the other way. Drew Ali called us U.S. citizens. He called this the U.S., he called this the USA, and he called this North America. He kept telling us that we have to deal with the national government and that we must come into it through the state government. So everybody running from it and shit, talk about, I'm a non-citizen national. Fuck you mean?
Right, and that too, when you were talking about what that really meant, because on my job application, every time I worked a job, it says, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" I will put national, non-U.S. There's part on there that says you're a national.
I'm a U.S. citizen. Now check this out. When you fill out that app and it asks you for the U.S. citizenship, right?
Right.
If you give them your passport name and 9-digit number, that aligns you as a U.S. state citizen. Okay. If you use the Social Security number and the birth certificate, that lines you with a stateless citizen.
Oh, okay. Stateless citizen. So
yeah, that's the 14th Amendment citizen. That's the privileged citizen. That's the debtor only capacity. Right now, I work as a home health care aide for my mother. And I use my passport, right? So the name on my passport is Brandon Davis L. The name on the birth certificate is Brandon Davis.
Right. And I was telling my brother that, right? I said, hey, man, this brother was talking, and I said, it's a way we can get our attribute put on our, because my brother
got he told us don't change shit. He tells us don't, and that's a lot of people. Drew Ali was teaching us how to exercise religious freedom. Religious freedom is commercial freedom. That's what we have to really recognize, right? So I have my Davis L, and I have a whole new 9-digit number, which means that's a totally separate person.
Okay.
All right. So when I got my tax return or whatever, not only did I not have federal taxes withdrawn, taken out, and mind you, I didn't check that off.
Okay.
I'm not even able to report. I can't file income tax because I was given the majority of my finance up front. And what goes to the state is supposed to go to the state.
Right. Now, check this out. For the past 30 years, I ain't paid no taxes. I filed exempt, period. They don't take no state and no federal out of my stuff. So I haven't filed taxes in 30 years. You know what I mean? Following this Moore's journey. Right. But at the same time, I want to be across the board balanced. When you say the debtor and the secured party, I need,
So we learned Drew Ali instituted a per capita tax in a temple. You have to understand that the temple is acting like the U.S. Department of State at that time.
Okay.
All right. So the per capita tax was to pay for the upkeep, right, and the running of the temple, the same way the state taxes are for the upkeep and running of that particular community and state. I understand why you're not paying state taxes now, right? But if you were employed through one of our organizations, you should desire to pay that tax.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
Right.
You know. So, but yeah, I got what I was gonna say is, well, I got it on my phone. I'm gonna just blow it up. You know, because like I say, I want to get my passport. But here's the thing: they say I owe some taxes from the past. Then I got a child support issue from the past from years back, and
So
I'm eventually going to address the child support
I
because
just found out supposedly since the Muslim Donald Trump has
Right.
been in office. Hold on. Okay. Since the brother Donald Trump has been in office,
Mhm.
it has come to my attention that child support as it is right now has been declared unconstitutional.
Right, exactly. And so my
And
thing,
so if that is the case, then technically when you go to fill out your application, that should not hinder you.
okay.
And as far as the taxes, the back taxes or whatever, how much? Is it more than 10,000?
Yeah, well, yeah. Between me and my wife combined together is 10,000, and I believe it's all from my wife. You know, I think the tax.
Regardless. Now, how long has it been?
It's been 16 years.
It shouldn't be there.
Well,
Look,
we recently
in
got some mail. Yeah, you say it shouldn't be.
2000, in 2000, I think it was 2014. The sister who was on the feed with me, that's my son's mother.
Okay.
All right, the sister who was up in the corner telling us how to do whatever. She had given me my son and her daughter's Social Security, and you know what I did. I committed fraud, bro.
Okay.
And I got audited. All right. So we had got the money. But then, you know, for the next 10 years, every year it would go up a little bit more. A little bit more. Coming into 2025, since I ain't never fuck with them, that shit gone.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go in and find out.
Yeah, check that out. Because after 10 years, if they cannot and have not collected in the 10 years, it's a charge-off. It's gone. I can attest to it. Attest to it. I looked at my Social Security information. That shit gone after 10 years.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump on top of that. Now, is there any way you can pay taxes off, canceling out the debt of taxes with a 10?
There you go.
Okay, I'm back.
There you go.
Is it any way to cancel debt with a 1099-C? Because I just recently ordered A's, C's.
Yeah, you're supposed to learn how to do accounting, and then particularly you want to learn how to do tax accounting as well. Right? So understand that all of those 1099s go back to the U.S. Treasury.
Right, but it does cancel out your debt.
Yes. So in the public, we deal with Federal Reserve banks.
Right.
In the private, we deal with the U.S. Treasury.
Okay. So
because there has to be a proxy, right? Debits have to equal credits in accounting. So the debits, that's the private, or excuse me, that's the public.
Okay.
That's the debtor. So we're dealing with notes, right? Promises and shit.
Right.
Right. These are all debtor instruments.
Okay.
So we need to learn how to use the U.S. Treasury as a broker.
Okay.
Because
Right.
that's where that's where everything on. So just like with your any public bills,
Right.
you're supposed to send that shit to the Treasury.
Right. Because okay, now I've been doing that. Like I sent my bills, using the process of what do they call it when you endorse your bills and send them
Yeah,
in to be
discharge and all that.
right. So I sent it in to the utility company. Well, here where I live at, I'm in Minnesota.
You
And
sent it to
same
the
law.
utility company and not the U.S. Treasury.
Right. Well, what I did is send it to right. I sent it to the utility company, but then they CFO wrote me back saying we don't take this. We
Yeah,
don't.
because it's supposed to go to the Treasury.
Right. Well, in any case, I did that, and I also found an area of the treasury, the number and everything, and the address, not number, but the
Yes.
address of where you send that. But they end up sending me some shit back saying we don't take this, this, and this. Then all of a sudden, no, what I did is I went to go get the energy assistance to pay my big bill off. It was paid off. Then a week later, I get a letter in the mail stating that I pay $5 a month. Long as I don't, I can miss. If I miss 2 months, I'm done. I go back to square one. But otherwise, for the past 7 months, man, I've been paying $5 a month. That's for my
All right, and
utility.
that's cool. But like, just to be honest, I'm on some type of see, the private and the public don't mix. So I have certain benefits that I receive from my debtor,
Right.
and then I get other benefits in the private as the creditor.
Okay.
I
So
have
basically, I just need to learn how to use both.
yes. So I receive county assistance. Right, my gas bill is like $20 a month.
Okay.
My electric bill is like $25 a month.
Right.
And so it ain't a thing to pay that shit.
No, it's not, because my light and gas are together, but I only pay $5 a month.
That's my point. So what I would recommend to you, because I'm still learning, I'm not able to. If I can't speak definitively on it, I try to stay away from it as much as possible.
Okay. Okay. So now, one of the things I was thinking about doing is dissolving the franchise. The debtor part, right? But now talking to you, you think that's not a good deal. Leave that going.
So
Because I start my job. I start a new job next week, right? I use now my wallet got stolen, so I don't have my social security card, and it takes quite a bit to get it. I recently got my birth certificates. However, when I went to apply, because I didn't have my social security card, they said, "Well, you got a birth certificate?" I said, "Yeah, I got." So I'm taking that in tomorrow, so I can start work.
So this is what I would recommend to yourself. Do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that, right? If you have to get in. But once you get your passport, you would then go back to human resources.
Right.
And you would let them know, hey, listen, my status has changed. You ain't got to talk about what kind. Look, I would like to use the information that is on my passport instead of the information that's on my birth certificate and social security number, because you can tell them I talked to someone at the Social Security Administration office, and they told me I wasn't supposed to give this to anybody but to them. It says that on the back of your Social Security card. Right. And so you let them know, or you say, look, for religious reasons, you have to let them know. For religious reasons, I would like to use my national ID.
Okay.
Right. I would like to use this in place of. They cannot deny you, especially if you say it's for religious and national reasons.
Right. Now I'm definitely going to do that. However, one of the things I know they do, right? Big corporations, not mom and pop stores. is when you fill that application out, they extract money from that Sesekidi trust.
That's only if you're doing it with the public entity. If you're using the social security number,
Right.
see the social security number is a personal estate account and it's not secure. So anyone's able to just put their hands in it.
Right, and that's what they do when you fill an application out. So when I go in there to say, hey,
he's telling you to secure your estate.
Okay.
Remember, they can't make anything. Mind you, I get a new number every 10 years, so they can't do shit. Every 10 years, you have to read that up.
Okay.
Right? You're paying, you're a card carrying, dues paying, faithful member of your motherfucking union state.
Okay.
All right. And this is a public account. This is a private account. They can't tap in. Because and it was founded off of this. So what you've done is you've secured this. Jurali said, leave all old business
like it is.
As it is. Don't use this. Use this.
Okay.
That's what he's telling you. He's telling you that when you do this, they can't have access to your shit.
Okay.
And like that's why I was explaining, federal taxes are not taken out. Federal income taxes are not taken out. Because I'm using this. So if federal taxes are not taken out, then that means that they can't put their motherfucking hand in my pocket and hit me with that shotgun like they did Malik.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's Raymond. Jurali said if you do nothing else, right? That's the thing that when I'm trying to teach people and they're like, yeah, man, authenticate. And I'm like, no.
Right, because I
get your passport.
I end up authenticating my birth certificate. You know what I mean?
Me too. Again, I always speak of shit that I've done, you know?
Right.
And once I further researched, I began to understand what the purpose is and was. Yes, you can correct those mistakes.
See that apostle?
Yes. See,
and that's
cool. But now, in what country did you apostille it to?
Philippines, where my wife is from.
Now, let me ask you this: are you going to do business there?
Well, my wife owned property there. We own property there, and she's from there. You know.
Are you?
Eventually, I'm going to retire there. The only reason I ain't been is because.
All right, let me rephrase it, brother. Right? Because again, I'm telling you, because I did it too.
Go ahead.
Right? When you authenticate or you apostille, either or, the purpose is so that you're able to do commerce with a country that does not follow the UCC standard.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in every Hague Convention country,
right,
this is already authenticated. It's already self-authenticated.
Okay.
Right? Now, like when I did mine, when I authenticated mine, I was following niggas, whatever. I did it in Taiwan. I have no fucking intentions on going to Taiwan, bro.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, this shit's fraud. Now, if I were going to do business in Taiwan, realizing that Taiwan does not follow the UCC standard, that's why I would authenticate it. So that they would know for sure that it's really backed by the full faith and credit of the state that issued it.
Okay.
That's the purpose of authenticating and apostilling. People are out here selling us procedures that ain't got shit to do with what we're trying to do.
Right. Now, here's why I authenticated my birth certificate. Okay. And then when they were asking me what country I'm doing it for, The only thing I can think of was the Philippines because my wife is from there. But I'm like, why are they asking me that question? I didn't
I
get
just
all
told
that
you
right
why,
there.
but keep going.
But so I get authenticated, but the purpose I was doing that is to try to unlock that Sesekivy trust. Because when you
Yeah.
read that act, it says once you get your status right and let them know, they got to release them funds. Now I had a
So
nephew
that status correction is that passport, though.
right. But listen though, and that's what I was telling my brother. I said, well, wait a minute, man. I've been hearing niggas talk about do this, do that, 15 different things. I said, this brother ain't do nothing but the passport. Now I got a nephew that's been on this journey, right? To the point where this nigga done did crime, got caught with the shit in his hand, right? I done seen letters where judges apologizing to this man and cutting him loose. Now
He got his passport, don't he?
well, no, but what he did is he got his status right to the point where they can't get no money from him.
So now there are many different ways to skin this cat. This
Right.
is also what Drew Ali was telling us. He said that I know where every member is along the way because I've fucking been there.
Right. Like they sent him a $2 million check, right?
Ooh.
At the government. And when he got the check, he took it to the bank, and the bank told him he needed another signature. So he calls my nephew, his brother, to bring his girl down. But for some odd reason, they wouldn't cash the check. And I was telling my brother he should have had a trust account or something open.
Yeah.
So when they sent that money, it needed to clear. But
So
he
now-
ain't never had no money like that.
What
They
he
just out of nowhere get
cleared it,
$2 million. That's why he ran into that roadblock. But go ahead.
So what he needs to do is not get, whatever information that he got that does this. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
He needs to put that. So what I need to do, right, is I need to go to like a credit union or something.
Right.
Which again, one of the issues I have is that we ain't got no Moorish National fucking credit union.
Okay.
But anywho, I need to go and I need to open up a trust account with this. Now you have your proxy.
Okay.
He'd have been able to get that,
Okay.
right? Because and you said it, because he needs to have
A trust
some
account.
type of trust account.
Right.
This is a private trust account.
Oh, the passport is?
Because this is a public trust account.
Oh, okay.
You see it, private and public, they don't mix, they equal out, they zero out.
So what about when the Treasury wants to do like they did with my nephew and send him a check? How do you work that check with the passport?
Well, so this is saying that you're a private civilian. This is saying that you're a creditor of the state. This is what that implies. And so if you have that proper account set up, all he would have had to do was take that check and deposited it.
So basically, he could open a trust account with the passport.
Bro, anything that you could do with the Social Security identity, you could do with your passport, bro.
Okay. Because see, I've been working. I just prepared my certificate of trust, to create a trust account because I didn't want to go through that process without having that account. Because once you know,
I'm aware that when I was born, there was already a public estate, and if there's an estate, there's already a trust. And I recognize that this is the estate, and this is the trust information.
Okay.
So if I have the public trust and I understand in accounting, right, trusts in the states that one side equals the other side, then that means that this is a private trust account. That's why it's the private, secured, nationalized. These all mean the same thing.
Okay.
So this is the security, and this is the security of the security.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? This secures this because you get this based off of this. You put this in the background.
Okay.
This comes out front. This is never touched. This comes out front. This is the beneficiary.
Okay.
And the beneficiary, if the beneficiary is not protected, of course, somebody could do harm to your child, right? Do harm because your beneficiary.
Okay.
They can take your shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
Not
saying? They can
okay.
like you said, they can put their hands in all your fucking shit.
Right. And this is why I was saying that with my job, like I'm gonna go do like you said for them to change the numbers. But on the other hand, it's like the state allows the government or anybody to go into your account. Once
Yeah,
you get
until you secure, it's unsecured. It's like unsecured debt.
okay. So
You see what I'm saying?
if they go in there without my consent, while it's unsecured, there's nothing I can do. In other words.
Imagine you got a shed, right? You just got a nice shed, and you've got all your new lawn, machinery. You got all this shit in there. Now everybody's seen you put it in there,
Right.
right? And then they also seen that you ain't put no lock on your door. You ain't put no cameras in your shit.
Okay.
They gonna run down in your shit.
True.
Now, you got that same motherfucking shed. And you've learned from the past that this is the type of shit the niggas is into. And so what do? You go, you get padlocks, you get cameras, and you get a motherfucking shotgun. Ain't that secure?
Right.
This is your shotgun. This is your camera. This is your padlock.
Oh, okay. So you got
See what I'm
both. You got
saying?
the book and the card.
Oh
Because
yeah.
here in Minnesota, come next month, state IDs don't work up here. They
They
made
never.
something.
That's the thing. I have a state ID, and on my state ID, and this is what's so funny. It tells you it's not for real ID purposes, right? And then I also read the United States Department of Justice Criminal Resource Manual 1508, Title 18, Section 1028, and it tells you about specifically mentioned ID in the United States. And it tells you that in the absence of a national identity card, 3 non-federal IDs are given preferred treatment and are used as commonly accepted: the birth certificate, the state ID, and the driver's license. And then it also tells you that neither of these 3 are meant to identify a human being. But this right here, this identifies a motherfucking people.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So we should already know when we read, and that's what's in this book here. Pardon me. I show the people because this is the stuff that I give to the people so that they can see it for themselves. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
This is from the U.S. Department of Justice. And they tell you that the birth certificate, it says, let me just read it real quick. It says, obviously, a birth certificate is not intended to actually identify the person who claims such a document pertains to him.
Okay.
That shit it says, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the driver's license, it says, it was not intended to establish one's identity, but because of the absence of a better document, however, the driver's license eventually has become commonly accepted as the national identity card.
Okay.
And then personal ID, it says, the reason for this, it says this document is normally issued by state departments of motor vehicles, so it's not even a government, to provide an identification document for those persons who do not, for some reason, obtain a driver's license. So none of these motherfucking shits is meant to identify. None of it's real ID anyway.
Right.
The only real ID, and that's why they trying to push this other bullshit to throw the veil over motherfuckers' heads again. This is the national. Let me read this part.
Yeah, I
told you
still
this is
didn't
the
figure out
national
how to
identity
get on
card,
there,
right?
man. Because I want to use my card. I need them books coming, man. Is this something where I do online? I mean, put it in with my card and shit, and then you mail it to me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the prompt. It's going to be a total. It's $50 plus shipping and handling.
That ain't no problem. Just
I know. I got you, bro. So what it's going to do is you're going to make your order, right? You're going to fill it out. It's going to allow you to use either PayPal or your credit or your debit card, etc.
right.
And then you're going to be prompted to give the, whatever address that you desire for it to come to.
Right.
And then what I do is I look at the state, and then according to your state, like in this book, since this is mine,
Right.
I have a whole bunch of constitutions and treaties, but I have the Pennsylvania Constitution in this motherfucker.
Okay.
So yours would be Minnesota.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Now I'm on your site. What am I clicking on? I'm on the book that you got, the book that you had in your hand. It says economic security.
Yeah.
Where do I click on here to get the order in?
Yeah, hold on. Let me
I'm
get
on my
my
computer now.
computer. Hold on.
Okay. I even see your passport on here.
Yeah, that's an old one, right?
Right.
And I was able to use that old one because I know that the number on there,
It's no more good.
the number on there is no longer used. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Let me see what happened. Okay. Because the one that I have that's active, that ain't the same number. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. I add to cart. I see it now. I say add to cart. I see
Okay,
that.
all right. Yeah.
Top secrets of bankers.
I have that as well. Excuse me. But just go to the one that says the economic security.
Economic security. I'm there.
Right.
Oh, I see it now. Add to cart. But now it's the add to cart is next to oh, I got it. I went to the bottom. I see it now. In economic security. Let me go down here. Add to cart. Boom. Now I got that one about Weiss about
Okay, then I don't have to send it to you.
I got that one right. So I'm gonna do this one. You said it was 3 books. So what's the second one? What was the second one?
This
That one? Okay, I got that one.
and this.
Right. Where's that one at?
That's a part of the set.
Oh, that's a part. Okay, let me get on.
Yeah, all 3 come with the set. You know what I mean?
Okay, well
You
then
pay
don't
for 2 of them, and then I give you the 3rd because it's necessary to learn, trust the administration.
Right.
Because that's what all of this is talking about.
Add to cart. Okay, I hit add to cart. It ain't doing. Okay, now it did something. Let's see. Go to cart. Boom. Go to cart. Come on, bitch. Okay, it went to the cart. Why did it got 2 in there? I must have hit it twice. Let me back up.
Yeah, back that up because some people, and I don't know, I think that might be a glitch or something because about 2 other people had told me that they only meant to, like I had to send a brother, I had to send his money back,
Right. At
because
least
he had ordered one, but I think that was on his part. He ordered one, it didn't clear. He ordered it again, that one cleared, and then later on, the first one that he did cleared, and so I'm like, damn, he want 2? I'm like, oh, he must want to give it to somebody else. And then I got the message in my email, him letting me know, like, hey, bro, I didn't mean. So I just sent his money back to him with his,
right.
with his purchase. What is the web address? Islam. It's up there on the board, and it's also in my profile. If you go to my profile,
Hold on, let me.
it will
Let me
tell
finish
you.
this card shit. I'm trying to get.
It
that
will
card.
have that right there in the profile, and you'll be able to click on that. My page is phone friendly. It was actually set up on the phone, so I don't even know how it really look on the computer.
Right, 528.
You know, but you could get all of that information, and then, like I explained to Big Brother here, once you go to that website, you're going to go to the tab that says Economic Security.
Okay, so now let me ask you this question while I'm typing, 'cause I'm still trying to finish the paying for this. When you open up a trust account at the bank, so you telling me the 9 numbers on the passport, that them the numbers you can use for your account number? Because you know normally when I set the do my certificate of trust, I end up calling the IRS and going through that process to get a number to create a trust.
So that 9-digit number is an EIN.
Right. But they ask you, do you want to do a trust or what kind of kit you want to open? And I put down trust. So talk to me.
All right, so I haven't done it.
Okay. Because I was wondering, should I use it or should I wait till I get my passport and then use that number?
That's what I would suggest, but so the EIN that I got on my passport because that person, right, that is a corporation. This is a religious organization. This is a religious and national. You set it up just like the MSTA. So,
okay. What do you mean?
So,
you said the other one was a corporation, though. Which one? Which one is a corporation?
But they're all corporations.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say. So you could go and get an EIN from the IRS.
Right, which I did already.
You could utilize that because the same thing, you have to use that SOCH in order to get that, just like you have to use that SOCH in order to get this business.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I hear a lot of people out there trying to tell people Islam, man. I hear a lot of brothers out there, oh yeah, man, don't give them the social security number. And I'm like, nigga, we talk about claims and shit. What do you mean don't give these niggas the claim number?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? I'm supposed to walk up to the bank, right? Because the U.S. Department of State, it's playing that role.
Okay.
I'm supposed to walk up to the bank and tell them, hey, look, I already have an account with this bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to secure that account, right? And get a private account. And the banker says, okay, sir, just could you give us the name of the account and the number, And you say, well, the name is XYZ, but I ain't giving you the account number. Fuck you, man.
Okay.
How you think you gonna get that?
Why is this
This is crazy, man.
This is PayPal is asking me for a fucking password. I put my shit in, but why is it asking me that? I used my credit card. No, I didn't use my credit card. Wait a minute, let me go back. I didn't even use the card. Let me see. Okay, let me. It's saying PayPal. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Fill out the PayPal for the pay?
Bro, if it allows you to do your credit card, do your credit card.
Well, it all it got is PayPal. It got paid by debit or credit.
Yeah.
So I got to finish. Okay, let me.
That's what you want to do. If you're going to use a debit or credit card, you want to go to that portion.
Okay. Log in. Boom. Okay, wrong password. Let me go again. 7.
As soon as I get off this live feed, whenever we're done, that's when I'm gonna hit print, start printing your information out.
Okay. Wait a minute, dear. What do you want? Okay, I got you. Give me a second.
Give it to me now.
Give me a second, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna give you 5 rolls so we can get through with this. Here, put that down there.
I hear that, bro. I can dig you.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Let me get this. Man, why is it acting up? Let me see. You know, this password.
From the Mercury retrograde, big brother. You familiar?
Say what?
We're dealing with the Mercury retrograde right now.
What does that mean?
That means that all things that deal with communication may seem faulty at this time.
Okay.
All things. So if it's your communication devices, or just like just now with your lady, with your wife, there was a misunderstanding. You're like, hold on, give me a second. She's like, no, give it to me right now. And it's like, okay. So, there's just communication. Like, this is the time in life where, and this happens 3 times a year. This is the time for reflection, right? When you don't really do too much going forward. You sit back and you observe whatever's going on. And then once we come out the retrograde, which would be about the 21st of next month, when we would actually be all the way out, that's when you would continue or commence your whatever business. Not to say that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing now, but I'm just letting you know that during these Mercury retrogrades, Mercury being the planet, or to a better degree, the projector. They're all these planets are projectors of energy. So this energy projector has been stopped.
Okay.
All right, and so the communication energy, it's at a standstill.
Yeah. Okay, now it went to Gmail. Let's see, we sent the security code to 43@gmail.com. Now, how do I go in there? Let's see. Let me go to my Gmail. Am I going to be able to pull this screen back up? Shit. Okay, do this. Shit, man, this is getting difficult. I'm going to figure it out.
Take your time, big brother, and I can assure you that it'd have been easier if you did it on your phone.
You think so? Okay.
I know, sir.
Well,
I know, sir.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pull back and do it on the phone, man. Because,
Would you like me to drop you down while you do that?
Yeah, let's do that. Can you do that? I mean,
all right, I'm going to take you off. You go ahead, you handle that. I don't know if and when you've done it, because I'll get the message. You know what I mean? And then if you come back on,
are you going to shoot back out where I can get back on here?
You should still be able to. If I'm on the live after you get done, then I'll bring you back up, bro.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, man.
Islam, man.
How are you? Islam, all is well.
I am well.
Oh, good. I was listening to you, brother. I just came across the energies has been giving me a lot of downloads today, but I put that information in there. I don't know if you read it in the that SS number, right? If you ever look at the back of that car, what does it tell you?
So it gives me the QSIP number. It's the routing number for the financial.
No. What does it read? What does it say in the writing?
This card belongs to the Social Security Administration.
Who does it belong to?
To the Social Security Administration.
Okay, continue reading.
What are you getting at, beloved?
I'm going to tell you, because I'm going to give you the form number, and I want you to pull it up and look it for yourself. I just want you to read what it says on the back of it, right? It said it belongs to the Social Security Administration, right?
Yes.
So they are the issuing agent, right?
Absolutely.
And that card is tied to a
trust
bank account, like you said.
Yes.
It is. It is tied to a trust. It's a public trust.
Yes, this is the public trust.
That's right. So guess what? All these institutions that are asking for it, they're not supposed to be asking you for the number, because that's your personal account, right? So you know what they're supposed to do? If you pull up Form 89 at the Social Security Administration, they have to go directly to the Social Security Administration, and if they want any information on you, they got to get it directly from the horse. They can't.
And that's cool. That's cool. But for those.
No, but listen. I know. I told you the form. You can pull up the form and read it yourself. The reason why the Social Security Administration assigned that number to you like it's assigned to everybody else. So you are the registered agent for that number. You are the assigned person. And based on Title 20 of the Code of Federal Regulations, which is employee benefit, that's an employee benefit card that was assigned to us as infants, as babies. And
Yeah.
under 20 CFR 422.104, it'll tell you who can be assigned a Social Security card. Now, on top of that, under Title 20, it'll also tell you under 20 CFR 422.402, that particular one, the U is one who owes a debt to the United States. Now, don't believe me. I'm just telling you what I read in their
I know.
codes
I'm
and their
aware of what you just
information.
said.
So, these institutions, some of them, the people in the top, like the CFO and the CEO, they know. And because, see, it's a $50 fine if they come and get it directly from you, because then they're using it to create security on behalf of you. That's why they always says they creating something on behalf of another man. That's what they're doing. And so they're creating securities in your name, and they're
Right.
doing trade in business in 26 CFR 7701H, trade in business. It'll tell you is for the functions, the person who is operating as a person to perform the functions of public office. Are you performing the functions of public office for the state or wherever you stay at or you
I am.
reside?
I am.
You are? You are a
Yeah, I'm a
state,
public. I'm in the public and in the private, honey.
okay, but I'm saying, were you assigned authority from the Secretary of State? Because that's what it is.
This is my authority from the Secretary of State.
Okay, so if you assign from the Secretary of State, you can also see that under 19 CFR 810, because the only ones that can get delegation from the state are federal state agent for the United States under 1981.0. And you could look that up on 19 U.S. Code 81N. I'm just telling you, I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm supposed to be out here having my own channel, but the Most High has put so much on my plate. I was told to pop my popcorn and watch the show. But because I love my people and I love my family, my melanated family, and I get on this platform, it's passionate for me to give you what truth I know, and not, don't believe me, just, pull it up for yourself
I
and
love
read
my
it.
whole family. There's no such thing as melanin.
Well, you know what I found out about the family when I looked it up in the Black's Law Dictionary? You're gonna be
That it means
surprised to
servant.
hear. Huh?
That it means servant.
No, when you look it up in the Black's Law Dictionary, it's a governing body of persons.
Absolutely.
And you know what a person is, right? A corporation and a state,
Yeah,
a
I have
trust.
two persons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no issue with identifying as a personality.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. But your personhood only operates like between 9 to 5, and any time after that is your private time, right?
So I have a public and a private person.
Okay, well, that's good. That's a good
I have a
thing.
creditor and a debtor personality.
That's a wonderful thing. It's always good, but we just, some of us don't know when to use it, when to
and
when not to.
melanin doesn't exist.
What is it? It's just energy, right?
No, it's carbon.
Oh yeah, that's right. Carbon. Yeah, it is carbon. You're right.
There's no such thing as melanin.
You're correct. Well, that's probably melanin is probably a corporate term, right?
Melanin is a term that was given. It's a socially engineered term. Scientists know that ain't no such thing as melanin.
Okay.
If I say, oh, we melanated, what I'm really saying is we're carbonated, and everybody has carbon in them.
Yeah, because it's made up of 16 elements, the carbon.
Well, 6 times 3, it's made up of 18 elements.
Yeah, because the other 2, I think, is called trace element. But I got a book.
6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. It's the mark of the beast.
But let me tell you, I got this book that in my journeys, and it told me all the names of the elements that our body is made up of. And I know for sure, you know why I know for sure? Because I had to, when I was going to school, I wanted to be a doctor. And when I was going to school and I had to take all the sciences like chemistry, anatomy, physiology, and all that stuff, uh where's my book? It's here somewhere. But anyway, when I was taking the courses and I was learning all that stuff, they were like, "Gosh, you're so brilliant. You need to teach the students." So I said, "Okay, what do I got to do?" You know, they always gonna give us a position and not pay us what we
Who are they?
rightfully owe, right? Huh?
Who are they?
Community college. So
Okay.
I was teaching the community college and I was teaching the students that were failing new nursing students, because my grades were so high and I could really dissect what the textbooks were saying and helping the students the ones who want to be nurses to graduate. I found this book. Can you see? Oh, well,
We can't
it,
see you at all, sis.
I know because my phone is acting up.
We're in
So
we're in
yeah,
Mercury retrograde.
right. Somebody called me and told me they got a new phone for me, but we're gonna have to connect so they can get it to me. But this is the book. It says, "Does science support the scriptures?" Right? And I read half of the book already. I'm gonna finish the other half. I'm gonna try to finish it within this week, next week. But it says, "What is man?" Psalms chapter 8, verse 4. And I got my Bible right here. I always keep my Bibles with me because I got the Jewish Bible, the KVG, and I got the NIV. So I try to read between both of them. So if I'm not getting it in the King James, at least I can, get it elsewhere, right? And it gives the scriptures in here, but it also says, "In protoplasm, the form of man's flesh, which discover oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphate, excuse me, chlorine, sulfur, potassium, sodium, calcium, iron, magnesium, silicon, iodine." And you can ingest iodine. They have the kind that you can ingest. It's good for the body because that's what they started using in the military way before any of these other things. Fluorine, manganese, and other elements. The body becomes the temple of the soul. Imagine the image of God. So I was trying to explain this in another one and give the scriptures, but nobody wanted to hear the truth. So I was like, okay, I'm going to sit my happiest down and put my book up and mind my business. But I'm good. How are you? Enough of me. How are you this day?
I'm well and I am patient, my love.
Me, you know what? That is a beautiful word. Well and patient, because so am I. I was trying to tell a friend of mine and they got upset with me because they said I left, but I didn't leave because when we united, they wanted to come north where south where I was, and because the directions of the constellations is flip, right? But they said it was too cold, so they wanted to go back home. So literally they left, and because I had to stay and handle my own private affairs, I couldn't go there like I needed to. So they said I left them. So I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna put everything in God's hands. But God is good. I've been really reading every day. Well, see, I got out of the
I mean,
BIBL.
it's not God within you?
Yeah, it is within me. But the thing was, I got out of, because my mom had me into the ministry early as an acolyte, in church. So I got out of that very early because me and my brother was falsely accused.
Do you
But
recognize that you are God?
I am, and I agree with you, brother. So my parents didn't understand it when I told them that, at a really young age. And so when certain things would come to me and I would tell them, especially my mom, she would get scared because stuff would really manifest. And she would say, "No, I don't want to know. Don't tell me." And the day my mom got really sick and I was shown the vision that she was going to ascend, I told my dad. And he left for work early. He said, "Don't worry, mama's gonna be all fine." I said, "Well, it's some men in white coats, they coming to get her." And he goes, "No, baby, I think you may have had a bad dream." So about 9 o'clock that morning, I called my daddy. But see, then we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have none of that stuff. I don't know how I called my daddy. But anyway, he came home. And when he came home, sure enough, who he saw at the park, who he saw the van parked in the yard coming, it was the ambulance coming to take mama, taking her away to the hospital. And that's why mom and daddy always say, no, don't tell me what they're showing you, because I don't want to know. So as a child, my parents was like, look.
I could dig it. I could dig it.
Yeah, but you know, I think my life has been really, really special because I was fortunate not to only have my mother and father, but I had several mothers and several fathers, and I was truly, truly rewarded. I don't say blessed because, you know, they say be less. So I was
I say
truly
blessed
rewarded.
because people go too hard about bullshit. Talk
Uh,
about blessed means be less. I don't want to hear that shit. That don't mean that to me.
yeah, I didn't say it. I'm saying that's what
I
they
know.
say.
I wasn't even saying it. I'm just letting you know. I'm hearing you.
Yes, I
And
agree.
and if you allow the opinions of other people to rule over you, then they're your God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The word blessed has been used in my literature,
Mm-hmm.
and the literature that I follow particularly, it was given to me by a mystic who was
Mm.
showing what all mystics deal with. So, I
Okay.
mean, be less, it sound good, or weekday and all of that shit sound
Mm-hmm.
good, but it don't mean what someone else say. That's not the
Right.
definition in any dictionary I've ever seen.
Exactly. That's why I let the energies show me what I need to know from words and phrases and stuff like that. Because I was
Yeah.
laughing at this video. I was actually fixing me because I had an upset stomach. So I used I peeled the orange and I peeled the lemon and I cleaned up some ginger and some uh 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 uh
Hey sis, didn't I give you my
corn.
phone number?
Huh?
Did you check your messages?
Oh, you know, I have meat. I don't have I have meat, so
All
I can't get,
right,
yeah, I
right,
can't get any of that stuff. That's why somebody wants to get me a phone where people can reach out to me regular.
right.
So
So what I'm gonna do, right? Because we're having personal talk on public forum, and
oh, okay.
I don't feel like
Can I
everybody. You know what
meet
I mean?
you? I mean, can I do
You supposed to be sharing that with me. That ain't for
yeah,
everybody.
right. Do you have meat?
I do.
Oh, well, if I must DM my email to you and you could just uh hit me
If
up
you
that
could
way.
look, mine is we the people free and equal at gmail.com.
Um,
We the people free and equal at gmail.com.
okay.
If you can reach out to me that way, send me a message that way, and then we can have these personal conversations. Right? What I've been attempting to do today
Mm-hmm.
is allow people to come up and discuss the things that they learn, like you're doing, absolutely. But within the confines of, well, I mean, I can't say that you are doing all of those things, but I would like for everyone in the room to be able to engage.
Exactly. I really loved your class the other day, and I know what I'm learning is only the energies that's allowing me to find, the people that I'm vibing with now spiritually. So I really loved it. I thought the way
And
your presentation and the class and everything, I didn't have to go through and try to, figure out, something in between what you were saying. You just did a brilliant way of presenting the whole whatever it is you were doing. So I wanted to give you your props for that.
I thank you. And
Yes.
one more thing, whether they are pale skin or dark skin, does not matter.
You are correct.
If they are of the same state of mind, that is your brother and your sister.
Uh, Indeed.
So we're gonna get rid of the melanated ones as if we're dividing people based on their complexion.
Of course, and it's like what they going through what they call divide and conquer. So they use
Right.
there's a word that you use when they're using those connotations, the different what do they call them?
So
Titles and
yeah.
yeah.
So again, the information that I've received from a mystic, myself being a mystic,
Mm-hmm.
within our organization as a Moorish American, we
Right.
were told. I was told through this information that to beware of those who look like me,
Exactly.
because these is the ones who are really out here trying to serve me. And I
Well, I
was told
know.
to go look to the ones that don't look like me
Mm-hmm.
and see them as my equal,
Right.
so that they can see me. That so that we could, and those would be the ones that would teach me how to run government.
Mm.
You know, um, it would be those individuals who would be happy to hear me when I speak to them in an intelligent tone
Exactly.
regarding citizenship and other principles. So, or we'll keep it in the hood. Every brother's not a brother. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Amen.
I ain't never had a problem with pale skinned people until I went to prison.
Mm-mm-mm.
And mind you, I did the crime, so I couldn't be mad. But
Mm-hmm.
and I went to prison at 17. So
Mm-hmm.
up until my 17th years, it wasn't. It was niggas
Mm-hmm.
that
You
looked
right.
like me that were bullying and disrespecting.
Acting.
You see what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
don't trust anybody just because of what the fuck they look like.
Right. Me too.
I don't. I really don't. I could care less. I could care less what you look like.
Well, I'm learning the hard way.
But you're learning.
I'm learning.
The lessons are hard because we have to repeat them. When we start repeating them, it's because we've refined ourselves. We've been through the fire, and instead of allowing the fire to burn us up, we allowed the fire to refine us.
Well, that's the Most High refining us because we are the ones that have been selected to perform certain assignments for the Most High. And I kept asking the Most High, why you give me the biggest heart? Why you give me this loving heart? Why you? I keep asking why?
The
And
answer is
since
you.
and yeah, and then I went into myself and I said, because that's how you came into the world, a loving soul. So it's already you. You can't change who you are. So I said, no, I like who I am.
I can honestly say with certainty that I've had more assistance, more blessings
Mm-hmm.
come to me through brothers and sisters of pale skin than I've had people who skin folk.
Kinfolks, I know. What they say, what is that
Yeah.
saying about kinfolks again?
It's all skin folk ain't kin folk.
Kinfolks, yeah. Mm.
I deal with people based upon integrity and character.
Yes,
I deal with people based upon their intentions and their heart. Because I
yes.
know that when I look at all of this, I'm looking at an illusion any fucking way.
Right.
That's just me personally. When I hear certain expressions of division, like my melanated people,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's melanated.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
to try to divide people by their complexion, or try to say that because they're of the same complexion of a people that may have done wrong, that they too have done wrong. I don't forget that, again, every nation has suffered slavery due to them not honoring the golden rule, of all being, of integrity and character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So again, when it comes to me,
Just because someone comes on my phone, and it's, specifically with those who call themselves Moorish Americans, right?
Yes.
I have an issue with the Moorish Americans,
Mm-hmm.
though I am Moorish American.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my issue is that I see that these Moorish Americans, they don't, a lot of them, they don't know what it means to be a Muslim. And we all profess to be Muslims. And the word Muslim means one who is perfected, meaning that they understand equality or equity. Right?
Exactly.
But a lot of these so-called Moorish Americans, they don't even realize that Islam is for everybody.
Right. And it's
And
true
so
to
they
what it
get to
says
talking,
too.
huh?
It's true to what it means too.
Yeah, and so they get to talking about, pale skinned brothers and sisters and shit like they ain't shit.
That's me, brother.
That ain't you. I hope that ain't you. You
No, I
talk
just
about pale skinned brothers and sisters like they ain't shit.
no. I just sent you a to make sure
Oh,
I
okay,
have the
okay,
right
okay.
email. Mm-hmm.
I see it. Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, okay, Big Brother definitely. Okay, you sent that, and Big Brother, who was just on the live feed, he just made his purchase, and so I guess I'm waiting for him to get back online. Let me see, is that brother still here? But so I'm gonna wait for him to get on here, so just so that I can confirm his purchase, and then
Yeah, cause I was doing a lot of reading about HUD, HUD, and that's an acronym too for housing and urban
urban
development, right?
development. Yeah,
And I was reading that stuff because a friend of mine was in a situation, and in the reading I'm finding out that these apartment buildings are only for military personnel.
yeah,
And
federal employees or military people.
right, federal, right. And so because the state is the one who's really picking up the tab for those people, like the president, the mayor, the police department, the military people, the park rangers, and those people, those are the ones who are really supposed to be renting in the apartment building. And if everyday people is going to rent or get a space, if you do fill out the application and you make your first month's rent or whatever, they're supposed to be rolling that over, because they're supposed to be creating a bank account, which is a something interest account, a interest bearing account. They're supposed to create an interest bearing account for you. And then what happens is every month it's supposed to be rolled over, and then whatever funds is generating, because since they're a business and they're putting everything in and then creating securities on behalf of you, that fund, they're supposed to pull that fund out and pay the rent every month, not you. So literally you're living debt free, right?
Right.
And were you did you know, or were you aware that a military ID is not supposed to be photographed or copied through one of these devices? Were you aware of that?
I did not know that.
Yes, I just also found that out in my reading too. Because I remember when I was when I was upstate New York, I went somewhere to the courthouse, and they were asking for an ID, and I said, well, I really don't have an ID, but I had a different something, and they ran it through the machine, but they didn't show my face. It was just to create a tag, a name tag. It didn't have a printout on my face or anything. All it did was show it like a black figure, like them black circle figure. And it
Right.
just had, and then they just wrote the name. They didn't get any information off the ID. They just wrote, they say what name you want to use or go by, and that's what they wrote on the name tag, and they put that on. They gave me a name tag to wear to be able to visit. I can't remember if I was going to a court. I was going to some state building, but yeah, they're not supposed to be uh giving them. They're not supposed to be but they didn't keep the ID. They just did what they had to do and made me a tag, gave it back to me, and gave my ID back, and then that's what I was able to do.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that's some new information for you. Now, what
I
is
appreciate you
that?
sharing that information.
Huh?
I appreciate that you shared that information.
Oh yes, and you also confirmed for myself too, brother, because I've been putting together a notice for this young woman so she can take it to the apartment complex, and I told her you're gonna have not only use give it to the person who is, because now they're acting as if they were an agent of HUD, okay? And if they're not an agent, it's HUD, because HUD is the only one can do an eviction. And before any eviction can be done, a hearing has to occur first through the ALJs. Were you aware of that?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, before any eviction can be done, a hearing has to take place first with HUD.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I'm still doing a lot of, I was up early. I'm putting all the paperwork together. I found a lot of information. I wrote some new codes down because I was looking, see, an apartment building, when I was meditating on it and I was asking the universe, why, what is a dwelling unit? And they kept telling me that what I kept getting, they told me spiritually, I was told to look up tenements. And when I looked up tenements, they were talking about in other countries like Scotland and Europe and those places, they call apartment building tenements. And
Okay.
the places where they call them indwelling units. But also when I started meditating, I got that indwelling units are those post box, the post box at the post office.
Mm-hmm.
Those are indwelling units. So those
Okay.
numbers on your home is really owned by the post office. And that's why when they have that number and they're putting information, they're making a deposit into the post office through your post office box. So that's why we're not supposed to be utilizing them. We're supposed to go to the general post office and do any transactions that we need to have. And so I found the codes on the Postal Service, which is a registered agent, for the post office. And I found the codes on, I'm reading on Office of Inspector General, the code for delegation of authority, matters reserved for decision by the board, which is the Board of Governors through the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Commerce, and it's one other one.
You know what, my dear? I want to shut this down and then talk to you on the other what is it, the meet.
Okay, well let me try see if I can send you an invite.
I think you already sent me something, but I need to shut this down because
Okay, that'll work.
yeah, it's going longer than what I expected, and we kind of veered so far off of what the content was in the beginning.
I apologize.
So, well, I'm going to reach out to you as soon as I can, okay?
Okay, beloved.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Okay.